Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags, and welcome back everybody to another episode of the Danville Upgrade series. And guys, I know at the end of last episode I said I was going to be taking a break from this series for a little while, but after I said that, I stumbled upon another build on Danville that I want to upgrade. So today we're going to be upgrading this build right here. This is the River House, and this house was built by two of my friends, Steven and Tyler, and really old build, super small, but I actually found out recently that this house is actually based off a real life build. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a picture of the build on the screen right now. So I kind of see where they were going with this. I mean, they built this a long time ago, so it's not the most accurate representation of that build, but it's kind of like the point of it is there and the idea behind it is there, and I like the way they executed it, honestly. I think it's a pretty cool design. So today I'm going to be upgrading this build, and my plan for this one is to build it in a different location, since this is actually a pretty narrow part of the Danville River. So I'm going to pick a wider spot on the river to build my upgraded version of this build. So it's going to be a little bit different than previous upgrades, where I basically swap out the plot for the new build. So we're going to be building in a different location on Danville for the upgrade. I think this is going to be fun. I am going to base it off of the picture that I showed a minute ago. So I'm going to try to replicate that. So it's going to be kind of half Danville upgrade, half real life creation. So it should be pretty interesting. So anyway, this is like a modern river house concept build by Steven and Tyler. And, you know, there's really not much to this interior. I'm going to go way more in detail on this build and give it everything I got. I guess we have like a little sitting room in here, and then upstairs, or up this ladder, I should say, is the bedroom. So, I mean, some of these concepts we're going to keep the same. So I'll definitely put a bedroom up there. I'll put the living room there, but I'm going to add stuff like the kitchen, bathroom, things that they didn't add because this build was just so small. So it should be a really fun, unique upgrade, and that's why we're returning to this series for another episode, because I thought this one would be really interesting to recreate. So without further ado, let's get started. And with the power of magic, we have got ourselves a brand new build. So here it is, guys. This is my upgraded version of the river house, significantly larger than the previous build. This has got to be one of the largest recreations we've had in the Danville upgrade series in terms of taking the sheer size of the build. It's probably triple the size, if not more than that, from the original. And again, I tried to base it off of the image of the river house from real life as much as I could. I took several liberties with it, but that was definitely the inspiration, the core foundation for the build. So, by the way, ignore the massive Pokemon pixel art next door. That's just kind of sitting there on that next plot. I'm going to try to avoid that if I can. I don't want this Rayquaza, fire blasting my new house. That would be unfortunate. But anyway, so here it is, guys. I'm going to just do a little fly around, little panoramic view, I guess you could say. Again, I took a lot of inspiration from the pictures. I also took a lot of inspiration from the original build in terms of like the layout, where we put certain things on the interior. I also added a garage. This house is really weird in real life because there's really no connection to the mainland. Like, there's actually a staircase that goes right down in the river like that. Like, that's actually part of the build. So really strange. So I decided to take some liberties with that and create a connection to the mainland via the driveway and the garage. So this house technically doesn't really have a front door. I mean, you'd basically get to the house through the garage, essentially. So I added that part on my own, and I thought that was a good addition. So here's what it looks like from the back. Again, it's really sleek, minimalistic, modern-style house. I used acacia wood, gray concrete. I even used some black shulker boxes for some of those window panels. Some interesting block choices here, definitely unique. Typically, you're seeing, more whites and grays, I guess, with modern houses, but this one's got acacia wood, so it definitely stands out in that aspect. And built it on one of the widest parts of the river in Danville. I pretty much searched the entire Danville River, which runs through pretty much the whole map, to try to find the widest part. And my original plan for this thing was to have it built completely over the river, but it got so wide to the point where it was pretty much halfway on land, halfway on the river, so it made sense for me to add a garage. So anyway, let's go ahead and tour this thing. We're going to go right on inside and take a look at some of the interior and what I decided to do with it. So I guess you could technically call this the front foyer, even though this really isn't the front door. I guess it kind of is. I don't know if you're supposed to get to this house by boat. It's really up in the air in terms of that. So we're going to have to kind of use our imagination with that. But we went with the spectrum carpet. That's what I like to call this. It goes from black to white. I love that. Right over here in this room, this is a bedroom. So this house has 2 bedrooms and only 1 bathroom. But here it is. We kind of have like a modern style bed, a desk in the corner, and this one's a cool view. Full glass wall in here. Just imagine that these windows would be like tinted from the inside out. So, you know, there's, even though it looks like there's no privacy here, in real life, if you looked at it from the outside, it would look like it was a black window, and then on the inside, you'd be able to see out just fine. But really cool view of the river and some of the other parts of Danville here. This house has a lot of cool views like that we'll be checking out as we go through. But we'll go this way first, and we'll check out that whole side of the house in a minute. So over here, we have ourselves the living room space. We have a television on the wall, a nice modern style couch here. Underneath of the staircase, we have ourselves a storage closet. We have the loft up on the second level, which is why we have an open ceiling here, vaulted ceiling. But yeah, I kept everything really simple. I didn't want to go too crazy with it. Trying to keep it minimalistic since that's what it looks like on the outside. So if we go up here, this is the loft. This is the second bedroom, I guess you could say. I like the way this one's laid out because we kind of have the television hanging from the ceiling and dividing the room space with the glass table below it. We have our second bed. I did both beds with the same style. And then we have a little cabinet over there, dresser, whatever you want to call it. We also have some of the banners, which, you know, line up with the carpet out in the foyer. So it kind of has that theme going throughout the house. And that's something I do with a lot of modern houses. Use the banners and the black and whites. It all looks really cool together. So that's that whole side of the house. Very open, very cool. So let's move on. Over here we have, like, I guess the kitchen as well as another living room space. So I was thinking about doing like a dining room in this space, but I ultimately decided to do another like living area. I thought it was a cooler way to do it. So this house doesn't really have a dining room, and I did that kind of by choice, just so it was a little bit different. This is more of like a bachelor pad, I guess you could say. It's kind of how this house is set up. So anyway, yeah, right here we have just like another living room, family room space. You know, call it whatever you want. This one has a fireplace underneath. Don't have it ignited right now because it was melting some of these snow floors here. This is the snow cap floor, 7 of the 8 on the snow caps to create this floor. So it's a little bit, got a different elevation from the rest of the house. Very slight difference. And yeah, it's pretty much similar to what we have over there. And then here we have the kitchen. So I went with the glass floor in here. This is something I did on another modern house that I built recently. It was the sandstone modern house that I built on my subscriber server. And in a lot of ways, the interior of this house is similar to that in terms of the way it's set up. It's a very rectangular house. It's very narrow, kind of open floor plan, divider walls, things like that to break up the space. That's something that I definitely really like about this build right here. You know, this wall makes a big difference in terms of breaking up the space. It doesn't require you to put up a huge wall there. You can kind of just put a half wall and it works just fine dividing up the space. So yeah, this is the kitchen. Obviously really bright colors in here. Pretty standard other than that. So over here we have the bathroom space, and this is the only bathroom in the house. So it's a full bathroom. We got the shower. I even built a bathtub in here as well. And this was kind of like the perfect spot for that because it's one of the few areas of the house that doesn't have a ton of windows. All right, so that's pretty much the whole house. The only thing left we have to check out is the basement, and this is also the garage. So this is basically the main entrance to the house, essentially. We have a sports car here, a little extra refrigerator, some laundry stuff over here, the washer and dryer, and of course the garage door, even a little window for some natural light. So that's basically wrapping that up, and that pretty much wraps up the interior for this river modern house. And I gotta admit, I really like this. This was a fun project. Really had to be creative with this one, you know, basing it off of like a real life house that was really more of like a concept. It doesn't really seem like that practical of a design, but it was definitely cool messing around with it and recreating Steven and Tyler's build from way back in 2013. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and I still really enjoyed the Danville upgrades. So maybe we'll just continue them. I'll just keep doing them periodically because it's one of my favorite series to do, you know. Might as well continue doing them. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this episode of the Danville upgrades. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this river modern house. Very interesting build. And if you did like it, drop a like on the video. That would be awesome. And guys, thanks for watching. It's been Dan Lags. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.